Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this special news roundup on life and current affairs. Over the past 24 hours, the world has continued to witness a series of fast-moving, intense, and deeply unsettling developments, from the Strait of Hormuz to Washington, from Tehran to Tel Aviv, from the Caspian Sea to Lebanon. Global military, diplomatic, and security flashpoints are sending increasingly dangerous signals. In today's program, we will take a closer look at the most important developments: US fighter jets striking vessels linked to Iran, Tehran warning of a strong response, President Donald Trump declaring that the ceasefire with Iran is on life support, Britain and France pushing forward military planning for the Strait of Hormuz, Israel considering ways to reduce its reliance on US defense aid, while fighting in Lebanon continues to inflict heavy civilian casualties. Here are the details. We begin with the latest developments around the Strait of Hormuz. According to Reuters, the United States and Iran have continued military and maritime activities aimed at asserting influence over the Gulf region, where the Strait of Hormuz remains a critical choke point for global oil transportation and international trade. Reuters also reported that clashes, attacks, and blockade-related activities in the area have shaken an already fragile ceasefire between the two sides. According to the Korea Times, a US fighter jet disabled two Iranian-flagged oil tankers, further escalating tensions at a time when Washington and Tehran have yet to achieve any breakthrough in negotiations. This development shows that the United States is using military power to apply direct pressure on maritime activities linked to Iran. Military analysts say precision strikes on oil tankers are not only intended to disable transport vessels, but also to send a deterrent message. Washington wants to make clear that it has the capability to control key maritime routes and is prepared to use force if Tehran continues to challenge the blockade. However, Iran immediately made it clear that it is not backing down. According to Reuters, Iran responded to the US peace proposal by demanding that Washington end its naval blockade, guarantee there will be no further attacks, lift sanctions, end restrictions on Iranian oil, and recognize Iran's sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz. Tehran's message is very clear: Iran may be willing to enter negotiations, but it will not accept being forced into submission. This is the key reason why the diplomatic process between the United States and Iran remains deadlocked. On the American side, according to Reuters and AP, President Donald Trump said the ceasefire with Iran is on life support, meaning it is barely holding together. Mr. Trump rejected Tehran's latest response, calling Iran's proposal unacceptable, while emphasizing Washington's firm position that Iran must never be allowed to possess nuclear weapons. Tensions continued to widen as Tehran signaled its readiness to respond to any provocation. According to Reuters, Iran's demands are not limited to the nuclear issue. They also include ending regional conflicts, especially in Lebanon, lifting sanctions, and resolving the naval blockade. This shows that the US-Iran file has now gone far beyond an ordinary nuclear negotiation. Tehran is also believed to be using the Strait of Hormuz as a strategic pressure point. According to Iranian outlets such as Tasnim and regional media cited in international reports, undersea cables passing through the Hormuz area have become a sensitive security issue, as they are vital infrastructure for the internet, financial transactions, and the global digital economy. This means Hormuz is not only an oil route, it is also a choke point for data, finance, artificial intelligence, and digital trade. If undersea cables are threatened, the impact could go far beyond the Middle East, affecting Asia, Europe, and many international financial centers. Meanwhile, according to Turkey's Anadolu Agency and Iran's state news agency IRNA, the Iranian military announced that it had shot down a reconnaissance drone in the country's southwest. Tehran said the UAV was intercepted by its integrated air defense network. Although the identity of the drone has not been disclosed, the incident took place amid repeated hardline statements from both the United States and Iran, increasing the risk of an unintended clash. Another notable development is Britain and France pushing ahead with military planning to restore commercial traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. According to AFP, as republished by the Times of Israel and Dawn, Britain and France are set to co-host a defense ministers' meeting with more than 40 countries to discuss plans for ensuring maritime security in Hormuz. According to Dawn, British Defense Secretary John Healey will co-chair the meeting with his French counterpart. Catherine Vautrin, as part of a multinational mission framework. The move came shortly after Iran warned London and Paris not to send warships to the area. Iran immediately issued a strong warning. According to Euractiv, Tehran said any British, French, or foreign warship appearing in the Strait of Hormuz could face an immediate and decisive response. Iran's position is that only Tehran has the right to guarantee security in an area it considers vital to its national interests. As tensions rise at sea, Iran's navy is also believed to have deployed light submarines in the Strait of Hormuz. According to Iran's Tasnim news agency, the commander of the Iranian Navy said domestically built light submarines can operate in strategic waters, monitor hostile vessels, and respond if necessary. This reflects Iran's familiar asymmetric strategy, rather than directly confronting US naval power head-on. Tehran relies on small submarines, UAVs, coastal missiles, and difficult-to-detect assets to maintain constant pressure. On the other side, the United States is maintaining a multi-layered military posture in the Gulf. According to Reuters, US military activities in the region show that Washington is combining naval power, air power, reconnaissance, surveillance, and blockade operations to increase pressure on Iran. This is not only a military campaign, it is also an economic pressure campaign. By blocking Iranian oil exports, Washington aims to squeeze Tehran's main source of revenue while demonstrating its ability to control strategic maritime routes. However, Iran and its partners also have alternative routes. One of them is the Caspian Sea. According to the New York Times, as cited by multiple international outlets, the Caspian Sea is becoming an important logistics corridor helping Russia and Iran maintain trade under sanctions and blockade pressure. The area is seen as a space where the United States has no direct military presence, making it difficult to fully monitor shipments between Russia and Iran. Reports suggest this route may be used to transport food, drone components, and other strategic goods. If this continues, it could help Tehran maintain resilience against economic and military pressure from the West. Inside Iran, the negotiation process with the United States is also facing strong resistance from hardline factions. According to CNN, conservative hardline groups in Tehran, including forces opposed to compromise with Washington, are increasing pressure on the Iranian government. They argue that negotiating from a weak position could damage the standing of the Islamic Republic. This shows that Iran's domestic political scene is deeply divided between those who want negotiations to ease pressure and those who want continued confrontation to preserve a hardline strategic position. This is also one of the reasons why US-Iran talks have repeatedly reached an impasse. In Israel, pressure is also mounting, according to Israeli sources such as Yedioth Aharonoth and the Times of Israel. Israeli military leaders have repeatedly warned that the country's armed forces are under heavy strain as they operate simultaneously on multiple fronts. From Gaza and Lebanon to Iran, Israel is also facing a shortage of personnel, especially combat troops. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has also made a notable statement, saying Israel needs to move toward greater military self-reliance and gradually reduce its dependence on US defense aid over the next 10 years. This is a major strategic direction, as Israel has for decades been one of the largest recipients of US military assistance. However, this goal will not be easy to achieve. Israel is confronting multiple fronts at once, from Gaza and Lebanon to Iran, while international pressure and declining public support in the United States are becoming increasingly serious challenges. In Lebanon, the situation remains tense. According to Al Jazeera, Hezbollah has been using FPV drones, including fiber-optic controlled models, to put pressure on Israel's advanced defense systems. Al Jazeera described this as a new battlefield reality, where low-cost drones can challenge far more sophisticated radar and air defense systems. According to videos and information released by regional media, Hezbollah claimed it had used FPV drones to attack Israeli military targets, including areas connected to the Iron Dome air defense system. If low-cost drone attacks continue to threaten expensive defense systems, this could change the way Israel calculates the cost of war. In another development, US-China relations have also become a major focus. According to Reuters and AP, President Donald Trump is expected to push China to use its influence over Iran. As Beijing is one of Tehran's major oil buyers, Washington hopes Beijing can play a role in pressuring Iran to accept an agreement to end the crisis. China has important economic ties with Iran. Therefore, Beijing's role in the Iran file is something Washington cannot ignore. However, China also has its own interests, ranging from trade, Taiwan, technology, artificial intelligence, and strategic minerals. This means any Trump-Xi meeting would not only revolve around Iran, but also the broader competition between the world's two largest economies. Beyond the Middle East, South Asia has also witnessed a serious attack. According to regional sources and international news agencies, a car bomb attack on a police station in northwestern Pakistan killed several officers. After the explosion, gunmen continued to attack the remaining forces at the scene. The incident shows that Pakistan's security situation remains highly complex, especially in border areas where armed groups are frequently active. Ladies and gentlemen, taken together, today's developments show that the world is entering a period of multi-layered instability. On one side, there are military confrontations in the Middle East. On another, there is strategic competition among major powers. In between are maritime routes, undersea cables, logistics corridors, drones, submarines, oil, and digital infrastructure. The most worrying issue today is not just one isolated attack, but the possibility that multiple flashpoints could begin influencing one another at the same time. If Hormuz becomes unstable, energy prices could fluctuate. If US-Iran negotiations collapse, the conflict could expand. If Israel and Hezbollah continue to escalate, Lebanon could be pulled into a new spiral of violence. If China and the United States cannot find common ground, the Iran issue will become even more complicated. In this context, diplomacy remains the most necessary path, but also the most difficult one. Each side has its own interests, pressures, and limits to compromise. For any agreement to survive, it needs more than signatures on paper. It needs trust, monitoring mechanisms, and the ability to control hardline forces both inside and outside the negotiating room. Ladies and gentlemen, today's news roundup makes one thing clear: the world is changing by the hour, and every development in one region can trigger a chain reaction across the globe. Life and Current Affairs will continue to bring you the latest updates, clear analysis, and objective perspectives on international affairs. Thank you for watching today's program. If you found this content useful, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share this program so that Life and Current Affairs can continue following the major shifts shaping our world. Goodbye for now, and see you in the next news roundup. Life and Current Affairs, looking deeper into every movement of the world.